Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnan Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. We were thinking of the meditation on chakras by which we transcend the nature and reach the reality, the truth, the ultimate truth. We saw just like we pour love and concentrate and reach the God, similarly in Bhakti Yoga, similarly in Jnana Yoga, intellect and reasoning, we penetrate into the nature and transcend the nature and go beyond. Similarly here, we integrate our personality to be the energy, Shakti, because Shakti has to be awakened and made to move. So we take the Shakti, do the pranayama, by which all energies get one-pointed, streamlined to move in one direction with like arrowhead. Now these energies are scattered. My mind is thinking somewhere, my senses are seeing somewhere, my bodily existence is some state. All are different. Now all direct one direction when we do the pranayama. And then our intention is to awaken this Kundalini and make it pass through for long times. We meditate on the each chakra, identifying the chakra properly, uttering the proper bija mantra and color code and number of petals and the devata there, each has a devata, each has a Shakti. All these meditations are done to identify and clear. The whole thing is in my awareness. The awareness must tally with the reality in meditation to the exclusion of all other things. The world I must forget the world. I must forget my bodily existence and land there. In meditation, we become integrated, and now I have to be there. I have to dwell in that. So, how do we do? After meditating on each with the number of petals, bija mantra and all that, we see a path around it. I am able to visualize my chakras. Then I see how the Ida Pingala, all this is in the beginning stages imagination. We saw while sleeping how we sleep with the awareness of the sleep and exclusion of the external world. I immediately enter into it. Like that, I am imagining, it is an image. Till I enter into sleep, the sleep is an imagination. But because I am excluding the world and thinking of entering into it, I easily enter. Like that, to the exclusion of all other things, I am thinking of it is there in my awareness, clear picture. I identify in my bodily existence and try to penetrate deeper by concentration and absorption. And then I imagine the Ida and Pingala taking the proper places. I go to that and slowly I understand how the air I associate with my breath. The breath going inside, taking different parts and moving about and reaching the bottom, the other side. It is touching the Kundalini, hitting and waking up. It is moving against. Where the Ida and Pingala join, we find there is the chakra. So it is imagination, but when we practically do with breathing, First we will be doing pranayama practice for at least 3 years before we can start practicing sending the breath current in the Ida and Pingala. Ida Pingala also I identify, clearly visualize in my mind, in awareness, it's very clear, but it's mostly a part of imagination. I am trying to overlap with the reality. I am superimposing on the exact spots where I have to withdraw. Just like I withdraw during sleep from the external awarenesses, all how I enter inside. Similarly, I withdraw. So these chakras become very bright and clear in my because of the visualization. And the Ida Pingala also looks brilliant and clear. Then I take the breath and start moving along the path and go to the Kundalini, hit and come back forcibly. I am putting the pressure of the wind. Many days take, many months go, many years pass. So slowly my intellect and mind and the perceptions, because senses cannot perceive it, intellect alone has to, this mind and intellect clearly start becoming subtler and subtler to perceive the current. That is the current of the consciousness. These are the nadis which we say Ida, Pingala and Sushumna. All these are pure consciousness, where the consciousness flows. In the first class I told you how we have circulatory system, we have nervous system, we have lymph system and all that. Like that, where from the consciousness flows into the bodily existence. Consciousness, how does it flow? So the consciousness comes from the transcendental realm of my existence and moves. This current of the Chaitanya, I am taking the prana into picture, I am utilizing the prana, breath energy, I am taking and moving it exactly where one day I will perceive the current, the Ida Pingala current. It is the current of consciousness. To recognize that consciousness flow, I am using the Shakti. And the Kundalini Shakti awakens little later when I start seeing the consciousness flowing. Now, the consciousness awakens the Kundalini. Our breath cannot. Breath doesn't. Breath enters into lungs and comes away. But my thought world, I am conscious, I have created in my awareness a world which is tallying with the reality. How do I know it is tallying with the reality? The one who has passed through all these practices, tried it, struggled it, reached it, he comes and reports. It is like this. So with that authority of the experience that other has got, I, like Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and in Tantras, we find all these details. Regarding the Ashtanga Yoga, we have one part. This is another. We get in the Tantras. So when we start identifying all this and making it, slowly my mind, intellect becomes so subtle, it is able to perceive the flow of Chaitanya. Means the intellect must be fully charged with Chaitanya to perceive the Chaitanya, as if I am entering into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So much of charged, just like iron. Iron heated, excessively heated, it becomes red hot, then it is no more iron, it is fire. Like that, the consciousness is charged with Chaitanya. And then it identifies, perceives. It is Chaitanya alone can experience Chaitanya. Bodily, any part of the Prakriti can never, be it intellect or anything, it cannot perceive. And because of that, I am charging the intellect with a divine awareness to the exclusion of all other. The whole world is absent, my bodily existence and my identity is gone, and I am only thinking of the Chaitanya, divinity. So it gets charged. I am seeing the flow of current, flow of the Chaitanya, and it is against, I am sending the breath current, against that flows the Chaitanya current. When I identify that Chaitanya current, I merge in it or I mount in it. I myself go. The Jivatman can move. When the formation of the Jiva, when the Shakti, Chit Shakti, reduces the Chaitanya to individual level, first before coming into the creation, my real existence, infinite Chaitanya, from there I am getting reduced by a power to the individual consciousness. That power which is bringing me to the individual consciousness I call Kundalini. Now this thinking, this consciousness is able to, when the power remains at the Mooladhara, the Jivatma, the individual consciousness, rests in the heart. This is an important part. The Shakti which has created this individual consciousness from the Absolute remains, the Shakti remains at the Mooladhara. And actually Chaitanya and Shakti go together, it has been brought. But the Chaitanya, my individual consciousness, it cannot remain separated from the Absolute. It wants to go back. Though it is limited, it wants to go back. It starts climbing up. But it has a limit. It can go only up to the heart. It cannot go beyond. Even to Vishuddha it cannot go, because it is associated with the form of the bodily existence. So lower chakra, 3 chakras are holding it. In spite of that, being a part of the Chaitanya, it wants to go beyond. So it leaves the lower 3 chakras of Jiva Tattva, enters into Prakriti Tattva, but it cannot transcend the Prakriti Tattva because of the gravity of the Jiva Tattva. Now it is at the heart center, Jivatma. It can go maximum. Similarly, God has great attraction for the Chaitanya, the individual Chaitanya, Jivatma. The Paramatman has so much affinity like a mother. God, which is in the Sahasrara, it's absolute existence. From there it has descended and again try to raise it to become one with it. Just like if you press the water with hand, it wants to come back. While coming up, it goes to because of the force with which it comes back, it goes little above the surface and it lifts the second. It goes on wavy movement. It tries to come back. Similarly, separated, it wants to come back and it can go only up to the heart. Similarly, the God is also attracted towards the Jiva. It stretches itself as if God is in the above. It cannot enter into Prakriti so easily and it can never come to the Jiva level. Though it pervades the Jiva and gives existence to it, it is having individuality, it cannot reach the Jiva Tattva. So God descends as the Antaryamin in the heart, the core of my existence. To the bodily level it doesn't come. Jiva level it will not come. But in the Prakriti level, lowest possible is Anahata. In the Anahata it dwells. The Paramatman also is dwelling and the Jivatman also dwelling in the Vasuparnau. In the Upanishad he explains as 2 birds sitting together perching on the same tree, the bodily existence. Like that, Jivatman and Paramatman live together in the cave of the heart, the core of my existence. The core, why heart, why do you say? Because the stula, sukshma, karana, sharira of mind pertaining to waking state, dreaming state and deep sleep are mounted on that point. That is the core. When I am in deep sleep, I am at the core of my existence. I have forgotten the world, I have forgotten the body, I am at the core of my existence. This point where I dwell, the core of existence, is the Anahata Chakra. God also dwells there, I also dwell there together. So this consciousness, the flow of consciousness, when I recognize, I understand what is my real, how am I bound to this bodily existence, how the karmic, this one, where is the power which brought me down to the physical level. I recognize the Kundalini, I recognize my own Jivatmic existence, the scholastic existence. Both I am able to identify because I am consciousness, Chaitanya Amcha. My intellect is charged with Chaitanya. It has become Chaitanya. So the Chaitanic flow, I merge and I want that mother to get up. I want that Shakti to come up and take me back. So I myself start descending to the Mooladhara. I descend to the Mooladhara along with the current of the Chaitanya. And I move, I wake up and go, I wake up and come again. I cannot stay there long, but I can touch, I can wake up and move. Again I go to the Sahasrara. Again I come to the, because I have that, mother has to release me from each layer of my existence. Once the Kundalini power awakens, once the mother awakens, then it simply climbs one by one layer. From Mooladhara, it comes to the Swadhisthana. While the Kundalini Shakti climbs, the lower chakras dissolve, they fold back. The Prithvi Tattva merges in the Jala Tattva. Just like when we sleep, the world that I was superimposing on the real world is withdrawn. I don't have waking state at all when I enter into sleep. There is no waking state for me. Waking state is folded into me. Again when I come, I project back the waking state. I fold back. That's why I don't have waking state when I enter into dream state. When I fold back the dream state into the deep sleep, without leaving anything, I am dragging all my awarenesses and go inside. Similarly, when Kundalini awakens and moves up, the lower chakras are disappearing, merging one in the other. So when Kundalini start raising, I am trying to be one with the mother. I am trying to be one with that Shakti, the individual Kundalini Shakti. It comes to the Swadhisthana, another new actual experience of God, actual experience of Chaitanya. At the Mooladhara, it is lowest experience, but it is Chaitanya, pure Chaitanya. I am experiencing Shuddha Chaitanya, but 1/4 of the quantity. Just like there is a huge, powerful bulb. Now the bulb is, when I reduce the electricity, it starts become dim. When there is illumination, when I reduce the illumination to 1/4, what happens? The illumination, when I reduce the current, the illumination decreases. Like that, I experience the Chaitanya. I experience God 1/4 of the intensity. As I go to the Swadhisthana, it is little more different experience. I am just like from dream, when I wake up, I see a new world. I am waking up to a higher reality, higher truth, higher consciousness. Each gives a different world altogether, different experience. I am experiencing God in a different way. So higher and higher. When I came to Anahata, I start seeing the forms of God. Now I am moving and the Shakti is moving. My real existence, my home, in which all these lives after lives I was dwelling, is my heart. And the Kundalini Shakti was at the Mooladhara. I was at the Anahata because I could not leave God and God could not leave me. But I could not raise up nor come down. Because of my attraction and devotion to God, my existential aspect was staying there. Jivatman was at the heart. So the Kundalini, after crossing the Swadhisthana, coming to Manipura, is a tremendous change. I get totally dissociated from the body forever. The Brahma Granthi breaks. The Brahma Granthi is between the Swadhisthana and Manipura. And this Brahma Granthi is the knot between the consciousness Chaitanya and the physical bodily existence. Just like after going to Vijnanamaya Kosha, what I experience, total from Deha Bhava to Jiva Bhava I go, spiritual awakening is there. When I come back, I see myself totally independent from the body. The same experience I experience here when I cross the Swadhisthana and try to move when I move to the Manipura, in between the breaks. When I, by chance, I am not able to complete the journey that day, if I come back, I will be totally independent from the body. Just like sitting in a car, I am from that day. I am attached to the mind and other things. I am attached to the still deeper level of existence, but bodily existence, I am totally independent. I am totally independent from the jiva level. So here we see that we are experiencing God. When we come to the Anahata, there is another transformation. That is, I am seeing the forms of God. I am one with the Chit Shakti, Chaitanya, that is Kundalini. Kundalini has reached my heart. My consciousness, my individual consciousness is experiencing the cosmic consciousness individually. It has manifested, taking form for my sake in the heart. Now, when I start going still higher level of consciousness, the form that I was seeing of God starts dissolving little by little. The dissolution starts taking place. And what happens is, slowly form is dissolving, and the moment I start leaving the Anahata, move towards the Vishuddha, another Granthi breaks. The bodily, the Sukshma Sharira and Chaitanya, Stula Sharira, gross body and Chaitanya, the bond, the knot, because of my karmic load, the bond was there. It is the Brahma Granthi. Now between the subtle body and my Chaitanic existence, the bond between the two is the Vishnu Granthi. This Vishnu Granthi breaks at the heart level. And then you are free from the subtle body also. Jivatma level is loosened. You are free from the almost Jivatma level. That means you are not going to have further births by karmic load. Now if you want to take birth, it is your will. Now you want to merge in God, it is your will. You want to retain eternally your individuality, experiencing God in your presence, it is your will. Nature cannot impose anything on the bodily level upon you, because you have crossed the Vishnu Granthi. Vishnu Granthi is subtle, and now when you come to the Vishuddha Chakra, the forms dissolve. You start seeing only the spiritual light, light of consciousness, Chaitanya. You are experiencing Chaitanya, but it is still in dynamic state of consciousness. This is Chik Chakti. If it is in passive state, if it is in kinetic state, if it is not in dynamic state, if it is in potential state, then we call it potential state. We call it the Agnya, Shuddha Chaitanya, that is in Sahasrara. When it is dynamic state, it is in the Agnya. It is Chit Shakti. When Chit Shakti dissolves in the Shuddha Chaitanya, we move still higher level to the Sahasrara. So when we reach the Vishuddha Chakra, that is the last edge of the creation. Akasha Tattva. I have reached the highest Akasha Tattva. Beyond is the Chaitanya. So when I cross this, the whole universe dissolves, comes to the Chit Shakti level, Chaitanya level. It is dissolving and becoming pure energy. It is becoming pure energy. When I come to the, when it dissolves, when the form dissolves of the God or Ishtadevata here, then what is happening? The form dissolves, means universe, it is Akasha Tattva. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Agni, Rapadva, Prithvi. I am going back from Prithvi to Jala, Jala to Agni, Agni to Vayu, Vayu to Akasha. It's just folding back. I have come to the Akasha, last, the beginning of the universe, your relative existence, and up is the divine realm of divinity. Prakriti Tattva, Shiva Tattva. I am entering into Shiva Tattva. And whole universe I have folded, and I am emerging out from the Akasha Tattva. When Akasha Tattva is withdrawn, folded up, it becomes Shakti only, energy. The energy and matter are interconvertible. The matter has become energy. E is equal to mc square. Whole thing has, now the moment I leave Vishuddha, there is only Shakti. It has become energy. It is consciousness in dynamic state. Pure Divine Mother, independent of the all jivas and independent of the whole creation. In her own glory, she is there in the Agnya Chakra. You see the Divine Mother in her original form, being one with the Chaitanya, as if Chaitanya has become dynamic. It has taken the form of energy. The Shakti and Chaitanya, Brahma and Shakti are one. Again and again Sri Ramakrishna says, the Brahma has taken dynamic state of being Shakti in the Agnya. Then the Sahasrara comes. So the Kundalini Shakti is not only coming, it is after the Anahata, it is carrying the Jivatma with it and making it experience various things and taking it back to the Shiva Tattva, the uppermost, the crown of the head, Sahasrara. When we move to the Sahasrara, it is absolute existence. I am entering into the, I have translated the relative existence, its root, and then infinite. It's an ocean of bliss, peace, love, absolute. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.